Hi, I'm Gia and I manage the Tenancy Sustainment team. I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to show you how we work with our customers. The story I'm about to share epitomises why I and my colleagues are passionate about what we do and why we choose to work for an organisation like Live West.
Where do I start? I've been working as a Tenancy Sustainment Officer for many years now. And there is one customer I'll always remember. This is Frank's story. Frank had been unresponsive to the efforts of his housing officer, but the welfare calls at the start of COVID by the Tenancy Sustainment team was a turning point. We had spoken at length before the visit, so I knew a little bit about his situation, but nothing truly prepares you for the reality of seeing it. It was June 2020. I rang the doorbell and I waited a while for Frank to answer. He uses a walker to get around. When I entered his flat, my heart just sank. There was no furniture, no sofa. The cupboards were bare. No pots, no pans, no curtains or TV. There was simply a bed in a room cluttered with his belongings. His only income was the lowest level of employment and support allowance. That's £74 a week. Frank served his country, but now he had nothing and no one. His health problems, anxiety, and the financial strain he was under really fueled his PTSD, which in turn fueled his drinking. Frank sat down on the fold-down chair of his walker. This is all he had to sit on. And I sat down on the floor. He told me his health was poor, and it was evident in the way he moved. He was clearly in considerable pain. He also mentioned his eyesight was failing, but he told me he didn't have enough phone credit to call the doctor for an appointment. Over the coming year, we made some big changes. We addressed some damp issues. We supplied him with food vouchers to stock his cupboards. He was behind with his utility payments, so we arranged a grant to take the pressure off. We gave him phone credit so he could finally call the GP about his eyesight, and he was so pleased to tell me a cataract operation had been booked. We reapplied for personal independence payments and prepared for a tribunal hearing. Now this involves reams of paperwork and medical documentation. Without support, this would have been too overwhelming for Frank and practically impossible because of his cataracts and his mental and physical health. It was all worth it though. The appeal was successful, and Frank was awarded the highest rate of daily living and mobility allowance, which meant his income increased substantially from £74 a week to £293. And unbelievably, this was backdated. Not weeks or months, but years. He was awarded thousands. It was an incredible result. Frank told me he's opened up a savings account. And he's ordered a new cooker, new fridge, furniture. The flat's been decorated. He's even talking about hiring a cleaner to help him keep the place clean. I see Frank regularly, and he's looking much healthier. He's living more comfortably. And at our last meeting, he was excited to show me his new shoes without holes and his new waterproof coat. Frank's journey isn't over. but he can see all the stepping stones to a bright and happy future.